Hello everyone. So find yourself something to sit on. Whether you can sit on the floor comfortably or not, have a little lift for this part because it's really key to being able to lift the spine and settle the body. And ideally you want something that's wider than your hips, rather than sitting on a single block. The best thing is to have four, and make like a bench. I've got a bolster here and 4 blocks placed two narrow ends together, makes a similar height and size. And then you can spread out the skin from underneath your thighs, take the buttock flesh away, and you'll find you become slightly more aware then of your buttock bones, which leads you to focus more on the pelvis and the lift of the spine. And once we've lifted up the spine, the chest opens and our breathing changes. It changes because we've increased the lung capacity. We've opened up the top chest, we've moved the back ribs in, and the breathing, quite naturally, without you having to do anything, will have settled slightly. And if you think of all that rushing around that you do to get ready for your class, this is a really good moment to leave all that to one side and come into the present moment, sitting on your lift, spine tall, head up, shoulder blades down. Take an inhalation and an exhalation. And for a moment, close your eyes and bring your palms together. In the Iyengar tradition, we call this moment the prayers. And in all classes, we would chant. And one day, perhaps towards the end of the month, we'll do a little bit of that. But in any case, it's a moment to withdraw all the scattered senses, bring your awareness into your body, and it allows you to assess your condition today, because you practice according to how you are today. And it's all about you, actually, and your relationship to yourself. So take another inhalation, and on the next exhalation, release your head down, keep your chest up. So figuratively, we're lowering the brain to the level of the heart, and raising the heart to the level of the brain. We're bringing them onto an equal footing. And on the next exhalation, release your hands down, open your eyes, and lift your head. Right. Just to let you know that we do look at all the health issues that are presented, those of you joining the classes. So rest assured, we're aware of what's going on for you. If there are any modifications that need to be made, I'm bearing in mind, all the different things, knees, hips, sciatica, and so on. And I'll make those. But generally, work within your own limits. This is not a competition. And let us start with, I'm going to ask you to get up and move. If you're not there already, take the short end of your mat to a wall or a heavy piece of furniture where you can push with your feet, something that isn't going to topple over. If you tend to find lying flat on your back difficult, take a folded blanket or a cushion with you, something to put under your head. If you're working from a chair, you can do the same thing. Adjust your chair so that you can stretch your legs and push your feet into the wall. Get a really pleasant stretch for your legs. All right. So those are some options. And we're going to start with masterclass in lying down. You thought you knew, didn't you? Okay, you sit in the middle of the mat with your legs bent. Trust me on this one. You put your feet against the wall, slightly apart, and then you roll down. And what you'll find is that your feet move away from the wall. So you may have to get up and adjust, move a little closer, roll down once more, and then you slide your heels into the wall and push. You should have strong contact between your feet and the wall, and you'll feel that if you bend your knees again and push again, it pulls all the skin from your shoulder blades, the back of your waist, down your legs. It pulls it all away from the back of your neck. Can you feel that? Try it a couple of times so that you get that feeling. Because what's happening there is the chest is lifting. Everything you want to happen is happening when you do that little push. Right. Those of you without a back condition, you can bring your feet together. If you've got a back condition, keep your feet apart. If you're finding that your chin is pushed up, you can hear how that changes my voice, then take a blanket and put it under your head. And that will absorb the gap. What it means is that your thoracic spine is quite curved. And so as you lie down, your head has to go further back. So you need to fill up that gap, and that'll help to keep your spine straight. So you're pushing your feet into the wall. You've got your arms down by your sides with your palms facing your thighs, and your legs are straight. Your arms are straight, your chest is lifting, and you're facing the ceiling. Lift your chest more and more, so you feel your abdomen sinking down, and the thoracic arch, the big arch of your ribs, is beginning to lift. There'll be a natural curve under your spine for your lumbar. Don't try pressing that to the floor. Instead, press your legs down and lift your chest up. Your spine will do what it naturally does in between the two. Now raise your arms vertically up, elbows straight, so your palms are facing each other, and you can see your thumbs. And then slowly take your arms over your head. You can do this if you're sitting. See where you get to. See if your shoulders feel stiff. Stretch into the fingertips and then come back over and down. Your arms will go where they can. This is different for everyone. Bend your knees, push into the wall once more, straighten your arms. Let's do that again. So push with the feet, down with the legs, lift with the chest. Inhale, take your arms up. Now take your hands wide and take the backs of your hands towards the floor and see if that helps to get your arms down. Chest lifting, armpits open. Inhale deeply, really stretch your intercostal muscles between your ribs. And then as you exhale, bring the arms back down and release the legs. You'll find that your legs will stay where they are because the wall is keeping them there. The wall is your friend. Now, we can do that if you've got very stiff shoulders by folding the arms. You hold the elbows. Hold your right elbow with your left arm, your left elbow with your right hand, and then lift your elbows up and take them overhead. If you find you're very stiff, you could have some cushions there or blocks or a pile of blankets, and you can press your arms down onto that lift, which gives you a chance to really open the chest and the side ribs even more. Very important for lymph nodes, everyone, ladies. We need to get the circulation going in that area. It's often shut down because our arms are glued to our sides, aren't they? And then bring your elbows up, straighten your arms and change. So this time, hold the left elbow with the right hand, the right elbow with the left hand. Pull your elbows up, pull your arms over. Open the chest. So feet into the wall, legs down, chest lifting, elbows extending away. Lovely stretch to do first thing in the morning. And then bring the elbows back over, arms down, bend your knees and put your feet flat on the floor. Let your legs rest. This is a position I call neutral. It's very nice for the lower back. It's completely soft. Nothing is having to do anything, but everything stays alert. So when you're doing work lying on the floor, or strong abdominal work or anything for your back, then this position is a very nice rest position. Now you're going to extend both feet back into the wall again. So if you've lost contact, you need to shuffle slightly closer to the wall and push once more. Then you're going to bend your right knee over your chest, keep the ankles soft, link your fingers. Now, if you have some knee problems in the list of health issues, you can hold behind the knee. It's very nice, in fact. And you don't have to have such a bend. You can keep a right angle there, but also it supports the ligaments in the back of your knee. So you can hold behind the knee, push the left foot into the wall, draw the right knee towards you. And then extend the right leg, push that right foot into the wall, bend the left knee, hold behind the knee or over the head of the shin, keep the ankle soft and draw the knee towards you. And then straighten that leg. Now this time, it's all about the bent leg, isn't it? This time it's all about the straight leg. Push your left foot into the wall and keep it pushing as you bend your right knee. Keep it pushing. Does anything change? Can you keep it pressing into the wall as well as it was when both legs were down? Thigh down. Inner groin long. Change. Right foot into the wall. Press the foot into the wall. Press the right thigh down. Bend the left knee. Keep stretching the inner right thigh as that knee comes towards you. And then change once more. And do that once more on each side. And then roll over and come up to sitting when you're done. So we're going to turn around now. I'm going to do dog pose using the wall for the heels. And we can use different resistances, some for the hands, some for the feet, sometimes both. This time we're going to use the wall. And if you've got a skirting board, it's delicious because it gives you something to press your heels onto. But I want you to have a think about this first. We put our hands down and we walk our knees back and we come up into Adho Mukha Svanasana, dog pose, and we get the right distance. And then we do the pose. So I want you to do that measuring up first and then come back down onto your hands and knees. And we're going to have a look at your hands. Now, for those of you with knee issues where you can't kneel, you can do this. You could do this sitting on a chair, or you can use the chair. You can take your feet back to the wall and use the chair, but make sure the chair is on a sticky mat and that you can push. In fact, for safety's sake, put the chair against the wall if you don't have that security. And you're going to do the same work with the hands that we're going to do. Right, everyone look down at your hands. Dog pose hands are a thing. Spread your fingers. Spread your fingers so well that the thumbs are facing each other and the little fingers are on the outer edge of the mat. You may have to move your palms to get the little fingers there, but spread. There should be the same distance between each of your fingers. So your middle finger is pointing directly forwards towards the short edge of the mat. Thumbs are looking at each other. Little fingers are on the outer edge of the mat. And if you think about that bit of skin between your index finger and your thumb, how hard is it to press that down? That's what you're going to focus on, keeping that pressing down, that little bit of soft skin as you come up into your dog pose. Can you keep that pressing down? Got it? Yes. Just come down onto your hands and knees again. I just want to correct a few things I'm seeing. Okay. Now, some of you could take a little more distance, so you could creep your hands forwards an inch or two. When you come up, you're looking at your hands. Bring your shoulders over the heels of your hands. Your toes are tucked. Keep your shoulders over the heels of your hands. And then thinking about that bit of skin, push back and then push your heels into the wall. Your ears should be in line with your arms. So your head isn't up and it's not pushed through. Ears in line with arms. Yes, that's it. So you're not looking at the floor, you're not looking at your feet, your ears are in line with your arms. So your head and your neck are straight in relation to your spine. Do not jam your neck. Inhale, exhale, come down. Good. Now, what we would normally do from that pose is we would go back into Adho Mukha Virasana. So we spend hours here focusing on the feet, the legs, the knees, the thighs, the hips, the waist, the ribs, the armpits, the upper arms, elbows, lower arms, hands. Fabulous pose. Everything's straight, everything working. And then we come down, and we all thank goodness for that. And we push back and we sit on our heels and take the head down. But that's another fabulous pose. It's tricky for quite a lot of people for quite a lot of reasons. So if you can, Adho Mukha Virasana, if you need something to sit on, let's say you have a slight knee problem and you do this pose sitting on a couple of blocks. You can do this pose sitting on blocks or on a chair and you extend up the wall. Can you see it's the same shape? And it brings the same level of quiet, active extension without any particular weight bearing. So pick which one you're going to do, get ready for that. So for instance, if I was going to turn around and sit on those blocks, I could do my dog pose like this, focusing, then I could come down or step forwards, turn around, sit on my blocks and up the wall. I want you to do 2 of those. Yes. Can you imagine what your joints are going through at the moment? Every single joint in your body is being flexed and extended. Push back towards your legs in the dog pose. Push back, hips back towards your heels in the child's pose. Adho Mukha Virasana. And when you've done a couple of those, come back up to sitting. Okay. Now, I've deliberately structured this class so that it's something you can do when you get the recording over the weekend of jubilation we've got coming. You could stop the video and you could do lots of those, that flowing movement, backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. It feels delightful. So you could do it 10 times. But this will also serve as a short routine that you can do. And once you get used to it, you'll enjoy it. We're then going to take some lunges. I've been following all the chat on Facebook, and a lot of people are having problems with this movement. And the movement is this one. It's where you go from, you might be doing your sun salutation and you take this foot forwards and you lunge. And that you can see the length that you need in your groins, can't you, for that kind of movement. So, ways to practice. Get your grateful chair again. And this is great if you've got knee problems too. We can practice like this. So I want you all to start with getting a chair. Don't care how good you are, start with getting a chair. Put it against a firm wall, something that's not going to shift. And if you've got long legs, you want it off the end of your mat. So you may want to pull the mat away from the wall slightly. All right. Now it starts looking like dog pose with your hands on the chair. And you step back and your heels are off the floor. And then you step your right foot forwards. So it's near, between the feet of the chair, and you bend the right knee and stretch the left leg back. Bend the right knee, stretch the left leg back. Good. Now, can you see how you've got all that variation of how low you take the hips? Keep the back leg straight though. How low can you take the hips with the back leg straight? It's all about the back leg. And then you straighten the front leg, step the front leg back, dog pose, left foot forward, take it right forwards, and start to bend the knee towards the seat of the chair and stretch the right leg back. Take the hips down. You've got to really resist the right thigh going towards the floor to keep the legs straight. Straighten the front leg, step back, dog pose. Once more, either side. Right leg forwards, left leg back. Stretch and grip the left leg. Pull the heel back. Keep the knee forwards, but the knee back, heel back. Straighten, step back, left leg forwards. And you've got options there. You know, if you're very stiff, you'll be up high. Doesn't matter. You can work on getting a little lower, a little bit more flexion. And then step forwards and come back up to standing. Now, you're either going to do that a couple more times. Those of you that can now, do that from the floor. So, dog pose, right leg forwards, and if it gets stuck to the mat, help it. You can bring the left knee down. You can work on lunges this way, or you can keep the left leg straight and step back. Or you can work like this. If you've got sensitive knees, you can have a folded blanket under there. Keep the back leg knee down and work upright, bending the front leg to get that space in the groins. So you've got lots of options for making those changes. Try them all out because they all add a different dimension. That last one I showed, the spine is upright. So it adds a completely different dimension to the shape of the pelvis and how that works in relation to the legs and the spine. Yes, I'm seeing some really, really useful work. That's it. Don't forget to take your head between your arms in dog pose. Don't have your chin hooked up. You'll give yourself neck strain. All right, now when you've done a few of those, you can come to sitting on your chair. And sit on the chair so that the back of the chair is on your right and your knees are together. So this will quieten the legs down, brings the groins back into a normal aspect with each other, allows us to sit tall and straighten the spine. And then you put your left hand on the back of the chair, turn right hand on the back of the chair, not up the top, down the side. So you're trying to keep your elbows broad. Relax your face, relax your jaw, turn your trunk. Now, the temptation when we turn is to let the shoulder blades go and curl forwards. Move them in and turn. You'll never have trouble with reversing if you practice this. You always turn and look over your shoulder. Breath in and out. Soft, slow, and smooth. And then turn back to the center. Pause a moment and then swivel round. Then go to the left. Sit tall. Right hand on the back, left hand on the back. You pull gently with the right, push gently with the left and turn. So you go to your optimum and then open the elbows slightly, open the armpits and move the back ribs in, shoulder blades down. And that tightness that exists there, that space that you've moved into, notice how when you hold the pose, something changes and shifts. Your awareness of your body and its restrictions and limitations changes as they melt away. And it goes deeper, and suddenly you think, oh, I can just move my left ribs back a little more. Inhale, exhale, roll the right ribs round, broaden the collarbones, lift the chest a little more. And then the waist comes into the picture. It's called working in the pose. It's very subtle. Maybe to the naked eye there's no change, but you know inside of your body that things are happening. And then release. Come back to the front and sit quietly for a moment. And then we're going to do Shavasana. And because this is your Jubilee weekend video, it's going to be a good one. So get yourself set up for Shavasana. Something warm on, put some socks on if your feet are cold, have a blanket for your head if you need it. If you've got some weight for your thighs, you can use that. If you've got a knee issue, put a roll under the back of your knees so that your knees can stay comfortably bent, a bolster or a couple of cushions. And then you sit in the middle of the mat, feet on one end, knees bent, roll down, extend one leg, extend the other, feet together at this stage. Lift your head up, check that you're in a straight line. Feet together, and then your feet and your legs will roll apart as your feet fall outwards. Everybody put your hands on your abdomen and take your elbows away from your body. Tuck your shoulder blades under, lift your chest, and then simply straighten your arms. Don't shift your elbows, but put the backs of your hands to the floor. And you'll now be in the classic Shavasana position, where there is space around each part of your body. Sufficient space. And the body can release. So you can feel the weight of your heels on the floor. You can feel the calves spreading. Hips spreading. Chest lifting and the shoulders releasing down. The neck soft and the back of the head making contact with the floor. If the floor feels hard, you need a little softness under the back of the head. Don't allow the skin on any part of the head to feel pricked by a hard floor. Take a long, slow, smooth inhalation and exhalation. And notice how that lift of the chest provides a little lengthening for the lumbar spine and a softening down to the abdomen. People talk a lot about belly breathing, but for the time being, we're going to focus on the facts. Breath happens in the chest. That's where the lungs are. So as you inhale and exhale, become aware of that opening up of the spaces between the ribs, the intercostal spaces, and the releasing down of them. All the ribs are fixed against your spine, Some of them are fixed at the front against the breastbone, and some of them lower down towards the waist are floating. They're only fixed to the spine. Those floating ribs, they're like gates that open as you inhale and close as you exhale. Take the tongue away from the roof of your mouth and relax your jaw so your bottom teeth move away from your top teeth. Soften your eyes, your ears, the skin of your face and scalp. Notice now the smooth, soft, slow inhalation and exhalation. With no instruction as to how to do that, your body knows. Once you put everything in the right place and you have the right frame of mind, that release can happen. So notice the lack of restriction in the throat. There's no tightness there. As the air enters the body, it feels cool and silky. It travels up the inside edges of the nasal passages, the septum. You can feel it, the coolness of it making contact there. By the time it turns the corner somewhere deep in your head to go down into your lungs, it's warm and you can't feel it anymore. As you exhale, that body temperature breath is more like a cloud. It's warm and moist. And you can feel it just disturbing very slightly the outer edges of your nostrils. And there's no change in pressure between the beginning and the end of the inhalation and the exhalation. Now, to come out of Shavasana, we go with as much care as we went in. First of all, just take a moment to think about the blessings in your life. And count them. That lovely sense of gratitude that fills up the whole of the heart area and expands outwards from there. And bringing that with you, one at a time, bring your hands onto your trunk. One at a time, bend up your knees. Roll over onto your right-hand side, all the way over onto your right-hand side, and rest there for a moment. That rest is really important because we need to change the way the brain is functioning, and that takes a few seconds. And sometimes after a long class, it takes a few more seconds. And then when you feel ready, inhale as you exhale, push with your hands and bring yourself up to sitting. And sit tall for a moment, allowing your eyes to open if they haven't already. Thanks very much, everyone.
Thank you.
Good day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well done, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.